Today we're looking at one of the most extraordinary aircraft ever built, the Concorde. A jet so fast, so iconic, and so technologically ambitious that even today, almost 20 years after it stopped flying, it still feels like something from the future. The Concorde wasn't just a plane, it was a statement. It was the moment when aviation proved it could break limits and take passengers faster than the rotation of the Earth. London to New York in less than 3 hours. Mach 2.04, more than twice the speed of sound. In this video, I'm going to show you what made the Concorde so special, what it was like to fly on it, how much tickets actually cost, why it disappeared, and what's coming next. Because yes, new supersonic projects are already in development. And I'll also show you the Concorde I visited in New York at the Intrepid Museum, where I had the chance to see the plane up close and even sit in one of the first-class seats. The Concorde was a masterpiece of engineering, a perfect combination of aerodynamics, materials, and raw power. The first thing you notice is the shape, that incredibly long, narrow delta wing and the pointed nose. Everything was designed to cut through the air at supersonic speeds. The nose itself could move. During takeoff and landing, it tilted down so pilots could see the runway. In cruise, it lifted into a sharp aerodynamic position. Even today, nothing else in commercial aviation looks like this. Inside the wings were 4 Rolls-Royce Olympus 593 turbojets. These engines pushed the Concorde beyond Mach 2, heating the airframe to more than 120 degrees Celsius. The plane literally stretched in flight by nearly 20 centimeters. It flew at around 17,000 meters, far above normal airliners. Up there, the curvature of the Earth is visible and the sky becomes darker. This wasn't just a flight, it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And speaking of the experience, the interior of the Concorde might surprise you. It was small and narrow with just 100 seats in a 2+2 layout. I've seen this myself. I visited the Concorde at the Intrepid Museum in New York, a retired British Airways unit, and it is truly impressive to see it so close. It feels like stepping into aviation history. I even got to sit in one of the first-class seats, and although they're smaller than a modern business class seat, the real luxury was something else entirely. Passengers didn't choose Concorde for the seat, they chose it for the service. On board, the attention to detail was exceptional, and the food was one of the highlights of the entire experience. British Airways served unlimited luxury meals, caviar, lobster, fine wines, champagne, dishes cooked at a level that matched the exclusivity of flying faster than sound. The whole idea was that if you were paying for the fastest flight in the world, everything around you had to feel just as premium. And of course, this experience came at a price. In its final years, a round-trip ticket between London and New York could cost around $12,000. One-way flights were usually between $6,000 and $8,000. Adjusted for inflation, that's closer to $20,000 today. The Concorde wasn't designed for the average traveler. It was used by CEOs, celebrities, world leaders, and people who needed to cross the Atlantic fast, or people who simply wanted to feel what it was like to travel beyond the limits of physics. And by the way, if you enjoy aviation and future technology, check out the videos I have on my channel about next-generation aircraft and airports. And if you want to support the channel, subscribe for more tech content from around the world. But even a technological marvel has limits. The Concorde was extremely expensive to operate, it consumed enormous amounts of fuel, required the most experienced crews and constant high-level maintenance. And then came the year 2000. On July 25th, an Air France Concorde crashed shortly after takeoff from Paris. It was the beginning of the end. Combined with rising costs and a drop in demand after 9/11, both British Airways and Air France retired the Concorde in 2003. Supersonic passenger travel disappeared overnight. But here's the interesting part. Even though the Concorde retired, the dream of supersonic travel didn't die. Several companies have been working on new designs, and the most ambitious one is Boom Supersonic with their Overture aircraft. I'll talk about it in detail later in the video. Modern long-haul aircraft like the Airbus A350 or the Boeing 787 are not faster. They fly around Mach 0.85, but they're incredibly efficient, carry hundreds of passengers, and burn far less fuel. The Concorde was the opposite, the fastest passenger plane in history, but also loud, expensive, and limited. Today's aviation focuses on efficiency and environmental impact rather than pure speed. That's why nothing has replaced the Concorde yet. And now let's talk about the new generation. Boom Supersonic is developing the Overture, a new supersonic jet designed to fly at Mach 1.7 using sustainable aviation fuels and far more efficient systems. It won't be as fast as the Concorde, but the idea is to bring supersonic travel back in a cleaner, more accessible form. I already have videos about Boom Supersonic on this channel, so if you want to see the prototypes, the test facilities, and the future production line, make sure to watch those after this one. The Concorde was more than a plane. It was a symbol of what happens when engineering refuses to accept limits. It proved that speed could redefine the world. And even though it retired, its legacy still inspires the next generation of aircraft. Standing next to the Concorde at the Intrepid Museum, seeing the cockpit, the seats, the engines, you realize how far ahead this aircraft really was. And maybe one day soon we'll be flying supersonic again. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.